Hi, I'm Veronica, and welcome back to the Wholeness Shift. At the new year, did you have the best intentions of revamping your finances and doing so much better with that? I know I did. So if that's you, stick around because we're going to be talking about 5 simple, effective ways to get back on track with our money. Welcome back to the Wholeness Shift. This is part 3 in a 4-part series on getting your shit together. Parts 1 and 2 were on resetting your spirit and resetting your body. I'll leave those links below. Part 4 that will be coming is on a home reset, spring cleaning, decluttering, reorganizing. At the new year, I had the best intentions of revamping my finances and getting all of these new plans in place because I had other goals I wanted to work on this year, and I've noticed that in the last few weeks and or month, I've fallen off the wagon in a major way. So I need to rein it in. If you find yourself in the same situation, stick around because we're going to talk today about 5 easy ways that we can get our money back on track. Before we can begin though, what do I always say? We have to figure out our why. So you have to figure out why you want your money situation to be better. Are you wanting to save for vacation? Are you wanting to save for retirement, for a down payment on a new house, for plastic surgery, for your new baby that's coming? Do you need a new car? Why is it that you're wanting to save this money? By clarifying the reason that you're wanting to do these things, it's going to make it a lot easier to make those changes. Number 1, get really honest about your spending and your budget. You cannot change it until you know what you're dealing with. So I won't spend a lot of time here because it's pretty self-explanatory, but subscriptions to every movie channel or every subscription box service, when you add up all the money that you're spending, when you realize that that's all money you could be putting towards that goal every month, suddenly that seems like a lot of money that you're wasting, and it's an easy change to make. So get honest with yourself about what you're spending and what you're spending it on. Now, this next tip, I've had people look at me like I'm crazy, but this is something that's really worked for me, so I'm going to share it with you. Consider opening more bank accounts. I opened several additional bank accounts, one for every category or every need. I have a main spending account, a bills account, a grocery and gas account, savings, emergency fund. I have a few more than that I use for like different savings and whatnot, but this is similar and it's based on the envelope method that Dave Ramsey made famous. I don't ever carry cash, and I would not do well carrying cash, so I don't use the envelope system. However, I use my bank accounts in that way. And they're so easy to open these days. You can open them online via your laptop. You don't even have to go into the branch anymore. So it's just super simple. So I know that every payday when I get my direct deposit, X amount of money is going into gas and groceries, X amount will go into my emergency fund, X amount will go into my bills account, etc. And then I don't have to be tempted to spend money where it shouldn't be spent or whatever. I know that the only time that gas and groceries account gets touched is when I'm ordering gas or groceries. And then at the end of the pay cycle, I take, if there's anything left over, I take it, and you have to make a decision prior to starting this as to where you want that money to go. I transfer mine into my emergency fund. And once my emergency fund gets built up, I'll transfer it somewhere else instead. Number 3, debt snowball. In a nutshell, a debt snowball is where you list out your debts from smallest to largest, or some people choose to do them by the smallest interest rate to the largest, etc. I choose to do the balance, so smallest balance to largest balance. And then you continue making the minimum monthly payment on all of the bills. However, you also decide that on a dollar amount that you're willing to invest monthly over and above that normal amount to put towards your debt. For example, I have chosen to invest $200 extra per month towards paying off my debt. Every month, I make the minimum monthly payments on all of my credit cards or whatever they may be. But on the smallest one, because I'm starting with smallest, that way you get more victories quicker. On the smallest one, in addition to that minimum monthly payment, I add that $200 onto it. So, for example, my smallest bill was a $25 minimum monthly payment. So instead of just paying $25, I paid $225. And it took about 2.5 months for that to get paid off. And so then at the end of that 2.5 months when that debt was paid off, I then took, the next month, I took that $225 that I was putting towards that bill, and I added that whole $225 towards the next bill's monthly minimum payment, which I think was also $25. So instead of paying the $25 minimum payment, I was now paying $250. And when that's paid off, I'll take the $250 and I'll apply it to the next one. So it's an even larger amount. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes, kind of like a snowball rolling down a hill. So you really start getting a powerful impact towards paying off these bills over time as you pay off more and more of them. Number 4, no or low spend weeks, months, or years. I had originally planned for 2019 to be a no spend year, but I knew myself well enough to know that that would probably go down in flames pretty quick. So I decided to make it a low spend year, which means for me, because really it's all about you. You make the rules up for your life. Back to basics. A no spend year is where for a whole year you spend no extraneous money. That doesn't mean that you go without utilities and gas in your car and things like that. You pay all of your necessities, but you don't spend anything extra. I knew that would not do well for me. So I decided to do a low spend year. However, I'm going to still allow myself the freedom to spend in certain areas, because certain areas I just don't have a problem with it. So it won't add up to much. I won't put that blanket rule across the board. B, I will still allow myself to buy some clothes when I need it because of my weight loss journey and the fact that every month or two I have to buy new clothes. I will allow myself to buy new clothes within reason. But C, there are certain areas that are notorious for me for being overspending areas. I'm so bad. And I'm sure you all have your areas as well. For me, any kind of candles or scents, room fresheners, candles, yeah. Any kind of cleaning supplies, beauty supplies, makeups, foundations, lipsticks. Oh God, don't get me started on lipsticks. I'm in the eternal pursuit of the perfect red and pink. And office supplies. I don't know how many office supplies I can own, but if I get in an office supply aisle, I'm just like, the possibilities are endless. And organizational supplies, bins and cubbies and little things to store. Yeah, it's a problem. So it's in those areas that I am in a low spend year. And what I decided to do with that is I am only allowed to replace or replenish. I am not allowed to buy extra. For example, I have to completely burn a candle up and I can replace it with a candle. If I use my whole mascara, I can replace it with a new mascara. See where I'm going with this? So, one out, one in, and that's it. That's where I've kind of fallen off it's kind of gone off the rails a little bit in the last couple weeks or a month, because I'm just like, I deserve some new perfume. So instead of buying a bottle, I buy like 3 bottles. So yeah, it's time to rein that back in because I was saving a lot of money. A lot of money. Like, I don't just buy a candle, I'll buy 4 or 5 candles. I get more joy out of being able to go buy a new thing that's fresh for the season or something like that than being stuck using the old stuff just because I still have it. So I won't be doing that in the future anymore. I'm going to just buy one, use one, buy another one, and then you get to replenish them and get more joy out of it. Does that make sense? I kind of rambled there, but I think you get my drift. I've also started doing no spend weeks and months. Every month I will have one no spend week, and then a few times a year I'm going to have no spend months. Let me explain. So every month I choose 1 week to spend no extra money, 0 extra money. You can buy your necessities, which is like paying the bills that are due or putting gas in your car, but absolutely nothing else, not even groceries. Because if you're anything like me, you probably have a whole pantry full and a freezer full of food that you can eat, you just don't want to eat. So by not going grocery shopping during that week, I mean, if you have a baby and you need formula or something, that's a necessity. But if you have Fruity Pebbles and you want Captain Crunch, that is not a necessity. So, you have to do this the right way. But during that week, what you end up seeing is that the week flies by. You had plenty of food. You really didn't even notice it, and it's gone before you know it. Like, the week is over before you know it. And you saved a lot of money because you didn't eat out and you didn't spend any money on groceries. So that's a lot of money for 1 week. And decide beforehand what you're going to do with all that money you saved. What fund do you apply it to? Or do you put it towards your debt? Do you put it in the vacation fund? Do you put it in the emergency fund? What are you doing with it? And then a few times a year, like, decide at the beginning of the year, decide right now if you're just going to start this, what months will be no spend months, 0 spend, spend freeze. And be mindful about it. Pay attention to what you have coming up. I saw a lady who did this and she accidentally planned her no spend month for their vacation. That would be tough. And you don't want to, obviously do it around Christmas, things like that, when you're going to be buying gifts, or else no bueno. So just be mindful of when you want to do it. But what I found is that it's really not that hard. It's actually way easier than you think. And what I chose to do was that on a calendar or in my bullet journal, I tracked every day whether or not I was successful. Like, if I was successful this day, I colored it in with a marker or something like that. And then on days that I blew it and I went shopping or I went out to eat or something, I didn't get credit for that day, obviously. And then at the end of the month, when you add it all up, you realize that, you know what, I may have bid it on a couple of days here, but overall I did pretty good and I saved a crap ton of money. So I think the last time I did this was towards the end of the year and I was successful 27 out of 30 days. That's a lot of money I saved. I may have shopped a few days where before I may have shopped almost every day. So no spend whatsoever for 27 out of 30 days. That saved me a lot of money. Last but not least, remove all of the shopping apps from your phone and avoid the stores at all costs. That is my best advice to you. And when I say delete all the apps from your phone, I mean all of them. Yes, even Amazon, especially Amazon. Amazon, Sephora, Target, Kohl's. That helps you to avoid all of that impulse shopping and the I'm bored while I'm waiting for this appointment, so I'm just gonna pick up a pair of shoes from Target or whatever shopping. And by avoiding the stores, for example, I started ordering all of my groceries from Walmart and then going to pick them up. Lately, I've actually been spending the $10 to have them delivered. By avoiding the store, I've saved so much money. I mean, thousands of dollars. Because hypothetically, if I were to go into a store with like a $70 budget, I would probably walk out spending $200 or more because I want this, I want that. Look at those cute pants. I want that lipstick. Oh, have you heard of this new sauce or whatever? And I would walk out spending so much money every time. By sticking to a grocery list, ordering my groceries, and just picking up those groceries, I will just spend the $70 and I don't notice anything different. It doesn't hurt me to not impulse shop. And it makes my bank account feel way better. That is a super effective money saving tip that I have. And I know that a lot of grocery stores offer delivery these days or pickup. Just be mindful of the prices because not all grocery stores are created equal. They may be way overcharging. Food for thought. I hope this helped you to get a better grip on your thoughts and views about money and ways that you can help your budget and get back on track. Take a moment and let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these things or what your plans are for trying them. I look forward to seeing you next time when we talk about resetting our homes, spring cleaning with me. Until then.